The arena in Monterrey pulsed with energy long before the first punch was thrown. A wall of sound greeted the defending champion, Jaime Munguia, as he made his walk to the ring draped in the colors of Mexico. At just 22 years old, he was already a world champion, aggressive, fearless, and known for overwhelming opponents with relentless pressure. The crowd expected fireworks. They expected dominance. They expected another emphatic defense. But across the ring stood a man who had not crossed oceans to be a supporting character. Dennis Hogan, the Irish-born challenger who rebuilt his career in Australia, carried himself with quiet confidence. At 34, this was his defining opportunity, 12 rounds to change his life forever. They called him the Hurricane, but there was nothing wild about his approach. He was calculated, tactical, a thinking fighter stepping into hostile territory with a plan. The referee called them to the center. Final instructions were given, gloves touched. The roar of the crowd swelled into a thunderous wave. When the bell rang, Hogan immediately established movement, circling, jabbing, sliding out of range. Munguia pressed forward, stalking with heavy feet and heavier hands. Early on, the challenger's strategy was clear: frustrate the champion. A sharp check left hook snapped Munguia's head back. An overhand right found its mark. The Mexican crowd, so loud moments earlier, hesitated. The champion was being forced to think, and that was not the script anyone expected. As the middle rounds unfolded, the rhythm of the fight began to shift. Munguia pushed forward with trademark aggression, wide hooks, crushing right hands, body shots meant to break resistance. But Hogan refused to be stationary. He pivoted off the ropes, slid laterally, and timed counters with veteran precision. Each time Munguia loaded up and missed, Hogan made him pay with crisp, compact shots down the middle. The challenger's jab became a problem. It disrupted Munguia's balance and stalled his forward momentum. A sneaky uppercut slipped through during an exchange. Another overhand right clipped the champion as he advanced recklessly. Hogan was not only surviving, he was winning moments, winning exchanges, winning rounds. The tension inside the arena grew palpable. The crowd tried to will Munguia forward, roaring every time he launched a combination. And when he landed to the body, the sound was unmistakable, heavy thuds echoing off flesh. Slowly, the champion began investing downstairs, targeting Hogan's ribs in an effort to sap his movement. But Hogan stayed disciplined. He didn't allow the noise to rattle him. He didn't trade recklessly. He stuck to the blueprint. By round 6, something unexpected was happening. Munguia, the power pressure puncher, looked slightly frustrated. He glanced toward his corner between exchanges, searching for reassurance. Hogan, meanwhile, looked composed, breathing steady, eyes sharp, executing his strategy with belief. This was no longer a showcase. It was a fight. Entering the championship rounds, the atmosphere tightened like a clenched fist. Hogan sensed the opportunity in front of him. A looping overhand right caught Munguia high as the champion retreated with his hands low. For a split second, the crowd fell silent. The challenger followed with another clean shot, then tied up smartly, refusing to let momentum slip away. Munguia's aggression remained, but the precision was inconsistent. He threw in bursts, powerful combinations that excited the crowd, yet Hogan's counters were often the cleaner punches. A short left hook at the end of one exchange snapped Munguia's head sideways. The Irishman's confidence grew visibly. In the champion's corner, urgency crept in. "You have to win these rounds," his father insisted. The message was clear. This was closer than expected. Munguia responded with grit. He began pressing more intelligently, cutting off angles instead of chasing. When he trapped Hogan near the ropes, he unleashed punishing body shots that drew gasps from ringside. The physical disparity was evident. Munguia was the naturally bigger, stronger man. Yet Hogan's conditioning held firm. He answered back when necessary, refusing to crumble under pressure. When Munguia attacked recklessly, Hogan threaded sharp rights through the openings. The challenger was fighting like a man who understood the magnitude of the moment. With 2 rounds remaining, the outcome felt uncertain. The crowd's cheers carried hope, but not certainty. The underdog had forced the champion into deep water. And now both men had to swim. Round 12 began with everything hanging in the balance. Hogan, remarkably fresh for a man who had been on his feet for nearly 35 minutes, continued to circle and jab. Munguia advanced with urgency, digging hooks into the body and firing right hands upstairs. Every exchange felt decisive. Every punch carried weight beyond the physical. The crowd stood as one. Munguia let his hands go with desperation, heavy combinations meant to erase doubt. Hogan responded with veteran savvy, punching when openings appeared and clinching when necessary. He refused to run. He refused to fold. They exchanged hooks in the center of the ring in the final seconds, neither man backing down. Then the bell rang. 12 grueling rounds were complete. The champion raised his arms. The challenger nodded confidently. Both believed they had done enough. As the scorecards were tallied, tension flooded the arena. This had not been domination by the young champion. It had been a test, perhaps his toughest yet. Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. A pause that felt eternal. By majority decision, your winner, Jaime Munguia. The arena erupted in relief and celebration. Munguia's team lifted him high, the belt secure around his waist. But beneath the cheers, there lingered acknowledgement of what had just transpired. Dennis Hogan had walked into hostile territory and pushed the undefeated champion to the brink. On that night in Monterrey, the Hurricane proved he belonged on the world stage, and the champion learned that greatness is not just about power.